Hi, I'm Amy Rossman, Executive Director of Rodman for Kids, a nonprofit focused on empowering youth charities to build brighter futures for kids, and your co-host of the Brighter Futures podcast.
And I'm Jane Lima, Marketing and Communications Manager at Rodman for Kids, your other co-host of the Brighter Futures podcast, where we'll be telling the stories behind the impact in the people building brighter futures.
This isn't just a podcast about impact. It's about the people behind it. The communities who come together, the connections that drive change, and the shared belief that we can build something better for kids together.
On the Brighter Futures podcast, we will shine a light on the partnerships, programs, and people behind the impact, because brighter futures don't just happen, they're built together. Today, we are sitting down with Brenny O'Brien, an 18-year-old South Boston Neighborhood House participant turned employee, founder of South Stage Theater Works, and Theater for Kids Hall of Fame inductee.
Brenny has been performing since the age of 4 and has worked professionally as an actor in Boston for the past 10 years and as a member of the Actors Equity Association. Her credits include Mermaid Hour at Moonbox Productions, Merrily We Roll Along at the Huntington Theater Company, where she earned the IRNE nomination for Promising Young Performer, and so many more. Brenny's a recent alum of Boston Arts Academy, where she majored in theater with a concentration in acting, and she graduated with honors in the arts and community service and received the Emerson College Book Award for Excellence in Theater. In 2023, Brenny founded South Stage Theater Works. South Stage is a theater-intensive program that produces summer repertory productions with an emphasis on professional style training and career development for young artists. At South Stage, Brenny serves as the founder and artistic director. She lives in Southie, where she works at the South Boston Neighborhood House as a teen staff member. And this fall, she will be pursuing a cosmetology license to continue her passion for wig styling, which most notably has been seen in every South Stage production. Not bad for age 18, Brenny. That's a pretty good bio you're getting started with.
Might I just say, so Rodman for Kids did a buyout of A Doll's House, which was directed by Brenny for South Stage Theater Works. And the amount of times that Bill and I turned to each other and just went, these wigs are incredible. Like, I'm not kidding. We talked about it multiple times.
Yes.
I was like, it's Brenny. It's Brenny. Like, look at the wigs. It's Brenny. Like, it's just so good.
It was an incredible production. And I kept thinking, I'm just blown away that these are teens acting and a teen directed this. I mean, just the talent that you and your cast and crew had was out of this world. And until I looked later on at the cast bios, believed that your lead was a blonde. That wig was so good. I was like, that might not be her hair, but she's like, that it was good. So yeah, and incredible wigs. Moral of the story.
So, Brenny, thanks for being here. We're so excited to have you. This is my second interview with you in the last year. So look at all of this quality time we're spending. So I'm curious. You have this incredible bio. You've been in so many productions. You founded your own, production company, your theater company. Was there a moment for you when you realized that this was more than just a hobby, that this was a path forward for you?
100%. I had it in two separate ways. I think as an actor, I put down, I have been performing since I was 4. I did, for those who live in South Boston, they know Fourth Presbyterian Church and their after school programming. And I did the productions there. And I just always wanted to be on stage. And when I was 7, I ended up auditioning for a production of Appropriate at BPC Stage Company, which I ended up getting to be a part of. And it was really in that production. It was like much longer than obviously my weekend runs at the Fourth Presbyterian Church. It was a month run and it was with all professional actors. And it was through that I started realizing, I'm like, this could be something it doesn't have to be a hobby. It can definitely take you further and it can be something that you continue to do, get paid for, it can be a career for someone. And then from there, I got from that one project, that kind of spiraled into the other projects that I got to do. From there, I got to be seen for Merrily. And it was just sort of from one project to the next, I think I want to continue down this path that it's leading me towards where I get to work with these incredible people and I get to sort of create these bonds with every production that I do and almost create this career. But then with South Stage, I've said it before, our whole thing just started as a club because I worked at this teen staff and we did a club and I was like, oh shoot, deadline's kind of coming up. So I was like, I know how to do a play, and there's me and 5 other girls were there. So I was like, this makes 6. Let's do Steel Magnolias. Everyone knows the movie. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be great. And then after that, the Ollie asked me to do another production. And when we were wrapping that production, a lot of the girls were saying like this is the first time that they felt like it wasn't just like a community theater production, or like they weren't just doing like after school programming. It like felt like they had a challenge in a way that they hadn't done before, and it felt like they were getting something out of it that they haven't gotten from other places. And once I heard those two things, like we want to continue with this, and also like the vibe that was created was something very different. I was like, I feel like I have to take this opportunity to sort of combine the two and continue forward. I feel like I can't just like can just keep doing the club. Like I feel like there's something here, and there's something that Ollie wants me to make out of this.
That's awesome. Thinking kind of what you mentioned just about the moment you realize that this could be something else, like that moment of recognition that, like this could be me, or I see myself reflected on stage or even off stage, whatever it might be. Like that's why access matters, because if you never have that
Right.
opportunity, even if it's just going to see a show, not necessarily being a part of the production, but even just being in the audience, like it changes what you think is possible. So you've been a part of a lot of different communities. How have the arts kind of helped you build connections across those spaces, regardless of where you were?
Something that I don't know if everyone knows is that everyone, especially in theater, everyone is connected to everyone somehow. Like the world is, especially the Boston theater scene, so small. Like my teachers at Boston Arts Academy, like my acting teachers, and the higher ups at the school have all worked with the same people who I've worked with before, or like know people who I've like worked with. Like for example, I did Mermaid Hour in my junior year of high school, and that audition process was like pretty long because like they were looking for something very specific. So I started auditioning in September, and my artistic director of Boston Arts Academy, Maura Tai, she sent me the initial audition in general, but as like I was auditioning, like getting called in like pretty much once a month, like up until I got cast in I think February. She was talking to the director because she literally knew her and had been working with her. She's like, "Listen, Bridget, that's just to say, like everybody is literally so connected."
In the art space, have there been people or mentors along the way that have really sort of helped you feel supported and seen in that space?
Definitely. I think like I was saying more Ty, from Boston Arts Academy. She really like thought my high school career was the person who was always pushing for me to get to where she knew where I could get to, and she never wanted me to settle. And it's kind of scary, when you don't know what the limits are and like where you can get to. It's like, when you're like young. But from the start, freshman year, she was like, "There's something here, and you have a fire in your soul, and we gotta keep pushing that out." And she has just always been there for me. Any questions artistically that I've had, or like issue lives that I've had, um, especially to so it's like all over the place. um,
Good.
I'm not going to college, at least for now. But it's definitely a track that not a lot of people follow, especially the people around me. And it was definitely one of those things too. I think that people like the decisions are yours to make, and like it's people will never understand that loss it's your decision. So I was surrounded by a lot of people like, why don't you want to go to college? Like you could continue studying, like you could like go to any school you want to, like whatever, you know what I mean? Like there's like the possibilities are endless, and it's like, yeah, but like there's something here. And she was definitely like a very big person who was like, you have what it takes to get out there and do what you want to do. You've been doing that. I have no doubt on that. You're right. You have to chase this because you need a license to do the wig stuff that you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just like go out and do that like how you could acting. Acting has so many different tracks in life. You can go to college, you could get an MFA, you could literally just start once that you get out of high school. It's what you make of it. But she's like, no, you want a cosmetology license.
Having mentors that not only push you but help validate you in the decisions that you're making it's vital. Like I've had people in my life who you obviously want people to tell you that you're doing a good job or that you're doing the right thing, but having people with experience in the field, and not they're not just saying it because they know you want to hear it, but they have a reason for it. Like her saying
Right.
like, no, you should pursue that because of this and this. Like that's huge. And having those kind of mentors that really are there, just I can't even explain. They're just so important to have as a young person. So
That affirmation is everything. And now you are going to probably start to find yourself on the other side of that,
Yeah.
and be the one who's affirming for those who come after you.
what a great segue, Amy.
I tried.
Good job. So, at Ramen for Kids, and, I know that you feel the same way, Brenny, but like we believe every kid deserves to feel seen and uplifted through creative expression through the arts, regardless of their circumstances. So I guess, you're not a kid anymore, but as a young person who has been in the theater scene, who has been a part of the arts since a very young age, for kids who might not think that they belong in this space or they don't feel welcomed, what would you say to encourage them?
As cliche as it is, there's a space for everybody. And I think the best place to see that is definitely by like seeing shows, like reading plays, talking to people that you admire, following people you admire. Like there's a space for everybody. The places that like say that don't certain people don't belong or whatever, that's not the place you want to be. I rarely ever felt like I didn't belong somewhere or like there was a room that I wasn't allowed in because they it's just what it is. It's built on community. It's built on ensemble. It's built on uplifting others to get to so we can all succeed. And so I would just like say like seeing theater, like things that like I like that. I want to do that. I want to be like them. I want to do the things they're doing. Following that through line and seeing what they're doing and what they're a part of, 100% is like the best way.
Yeah. So
That's awesome.
just taking that kernel of interest in going after it, seeing
100%.
like exposing yourself to it, having the access. And obviously that's easier said than done, but that's, why Rodman our Theater for Kids program exists, is to be able to provide kids that opportunity to create their own relationship with the arts.
Absolutely.
We always say we want kids to feel welcome in the space, regardless of if it's their first time or their 50th time going to the show.
Right.
Exactly. With Southstage Theater Works, Brenny, what kind of space are you trying to build there?
I hope when kids leave, they leave the space. They're like, I can walk into any room and I can find my footing in it. So whether that be professional theater, whether that be community theater, whether that be like going into the college auditions, I really want it to be a space that we raise you on professionalism. Our rehearsal processes are run 4 weeks and like any other, training program, we cast months out, so sort of what your summer looks like. When we talk about sort of guidelines, we provide headshots, resumes, very much like to send you off. Like I know what the next step is.
It's incredible.
It's amazing. I think about myself at 18 years old and I wasn't doing anything like that. So, I just commend you. So we kind of already talked about this. Amy kind of alluded to it, but now that you are making your name known in this theater space, what is it like for you to now be someone that younger kids and even kids your age, high schoolers, people are going to look up to you as someone in this space? Like, what is that like for you?
It's definitely so like crazy. But no, it's like it's definitely like it comes with a lot of responsibility, I think, and that I know like if this is the step I want to take, I know I have to be a leader in some sort of way, and it's like I think especially I know what I need to do here, and like I'm ready for that next step more than ever.
Awesome. What's that Spider-Man line? With great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah.
Proud to bring that line in, but it's true.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's true.
And you talked about, and I agree wholeheartedly that the theater and just the arts in general are the most inclusive space.
Mhm.
How do you approach that with your programming and your work, the inclusivity, the empowerment to ensure that the folks working with you are getting that same feeling that you had?
It comes, I think, with a little bit of like, there's two things about it. So we want our big goal is to continue that and like making sure we're being inclusive and making sure that we are engaging our students. But we also don't want to be like exclusive in what we're saying. Like you wouldn't understand this or like you don't know this yet. It's definitely like we find our wording, we find our through line because what I hope to do is to educate and how the experiences I've had, I want to give to others. So it's definitely like making sure that we are picking what we're saying correctly, as well as choosing our experiences correctly. Like either like the activities we're choosing or the way, like if something's not clicking for someone, like how we can get one-on-one sort of.
I think that's one of the most special things about the arts is that no matter where someone is or a kid is in their journey, they can be themselves and not be perfect and not be the expert, but still be a part of the community. It's a beautiful thing.
Right. I hope too, like if we're doing right, like, they can continue on what they learned and bring on to others, sort of.
Sure.
So like as a Padawan is like you may not have done South Stage, but I did, so let me tell you what I learned here. And we're both in the same boat, so let me like share my knowledge of what I've learned. Rather than like again getting exclusive about it and like starting to build walls because like you said before, like that's not it gets people scared. It makes people nervous. It makes people not want to join activity, which it's just not what this is made for.
Right.
Yeah.
It reminds me so much of the work we do at Rodman for Kids, where it's not about competition, but like all ships rise together, and let's lift each other up and share all our best practices and everything we know to do the work better together.
I have a question and it's off script. And it just kind of came about from what you were just saying, Brenny. So for South Stage Theater Works, is this like anyone can join, or do you have to have at least some sort of theater background to be able to be a part
No,
of it?
I can,
So you're
yeah,
literally like, you have kids from Boston Arts Academy who are doing this, for school. And then you have some kids that are just like, I just want to try this out. And you're giving them all the same professional style training and meeting everyone where they're at. That's incredible.
just a lot of the BAA students, like I was saying, just came about because I reached out to a lot of schools, but like we are newer, and so I was like, I understand if this like nothing, like you don't know who I am, and like you're probably like, what is this email? So we did get a lot of Boston Arts Academy people, but the kid playing Hogstad, he came from BC High, and he had done like the
Oh.
BC High like program, whatever. He came out of it, and like we do like an end of summer survey. I think he was like, I've never felt more prepared to like go. Like if I wanted to continue, I could literally walk into any room, and I feel like I could. Like this has like pushed me forward in a way that like I had never been pushed before, and not in some like scary whatever way. It's like I know my worth now, and I know like what I bring as an actor. And so the BAA people, that's so cool because it's continued training for them in a sense. Like this practicing what they do during school year, during summer, just keeping the training up. But it's like he was very special because it's like you weren't from this sort of background. Like this isn't some continued training for you. It's like your first time sort of getting this training. Like that definitely was a big thing too. Because I'm like, it's such an honor that we are your first sort of. And that comes with so much privilege now. And we have to be careful now because I don't want to set you off with a horrible experience. Like we want to give you like what it should look like.
Yeah. But also going back to you saying, you're approaching inclusivity and empowerment, like not obviously definitely in the language that you're using, but you're being inclusive with anyone can join this, even though it's professional style training. And, you have this incredible theater background, but you're recognizing not everyone does, and you're
Yeah.
meeting them where they're at. And it's just incredible.
That was directly like, my whole point because when I was listening to what they were saying before, like the girls from starting noise when I started this, I was like, I have been so lucky and that I've gotten down this, and like I would love it if we could have more people who have this sort of like these stepping stones, or it's something under their belt that can propel them forward, and like they don't feel scared to go into like these like bigger theater companies audition. It's like I have no clue what I'm doing. It's sort of like, no, I have an idea. I've worked at South Stage. Like I know what Brenny has been saying. I remember this because I worked at South Stage. Like I'm good. Like I'm all set.
Confidence builder for sure.
I was just going to say the confidence that you're helping these people develop is huge, and it will change their trajectory in terms of where they go with the arts. It's powerful. On that note, we always ask all of our guests the same question towards the end of the podcast, and it's about what changed your trajectory. So the question is, what's a person, activity, or memory from your childhood that shaped who you are today?
My first ever restaurant I saw was A Year with Bobbing Toad at a local theater company, and I was like, I'm gonna do that. And my parents were like, I was like, no, I'm gonna go on that stage. And then I like read the program, and I'm like, yeah, let's get into classes, let's start this. And so I think like seeing that first production and sort of getting my first like insight into like what theater is and like what like what the people were doing up on the stage. Like I think I definitely, without that, I don't think it would have taken a while either for me to get here or were not.
Wow, I love that you were that sure of it. As far back as you can remember. With your first experience, you knew. That's really neat.
Access to arts experiences, I want to like clap between every word,
Yes.
can shape a young person's identity and dreams. And it doesn't matter if you're 3 or if you're 18 or if you're 42 or 107. Like it's just, and I'm saying young people for every 107-year-old that's listening, I'm calling you young, but it can change your trajectory, and you are an example of that. I actually am very excited for how we like to end the podcast. Typically, we would have a question submitted by a kiddo that your work has impacted, but we wanted to switch things up a little bit with you. So we asked Kathy Lafferty to submit a question.
And for the listeners who don't know, Kathy Lafferty is the executive director of South Boston Neighborhood House, also known as the Ollie. They're one of our Rodman for Kids charity partners, an incredible organization that serves kids and families throughout Southie.
So she submitted a great one. Kathy would like to know, Brenny, what are your hopes and dreams for the future of South Stage Theater Works?
Big goals. Right now, our program is free, which I want to keep that a big goal. Like, definitely, I think, especially as we're talking about sort of like the pre-professional, sort of what that looks like. That's a big goal for me. I think my biggest goal is just sort of the reputation. It's like for that to grow, like, and like to get it, to get what I'm saying now, and to sort of get it out there. So when people like read a resume or they like look at South Stage, they're like, oh, it's South Stage. Like, oh, these kids are gonna be fired. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
In the same way that like you guys have seen it and like you've said it, like I hope that that's sort of like the name gets seen and people are like, I'm ready for this. Like I'm ready to see these kids. I want to watch these kids. Like
That brand recognition, man.
Like you're well
Here
on your
for
way
it.
to that.
Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast. You are, I mean, I keep saying it, but you are just an incredible young woman. And we are so excited to see where you go. And I am very excited to continue seeing productions put on by South Stage Theater Works. And I will be sure to put South Stage Theater Works info in the show notes so that people can follow and start seeing more productions.
Absolutely.
thank
We will
you
be
so much.
cheering
Thank you
you
for all of
on.
her.
We'll be cheering you on for whatever comes next, Brenny. We're your biggest fans. As always, we'd like to leave you with a reflection question. Think back to the first time the arts moved you. What did that moment unlock for you, and how can you help create that spark for someone else?
Thank you for listening to the Brighter Futures podcast, where every story we share is a reminder that brighter futures don't just happen, they're built together. If today's episode moved you, consider sharing it or leaving us a review. And if you want to learn more about how you can be a part of this journey, visit www.rodmanforkids.org and follow South Stage Theater Works on Instagram.